Education and Sports plans to introduce license for teachers. And in sports, Vipers FC unveils Brazilian coach. This and more on Live at 8. Welcome, this is Live at 8 on Ndejje University TV. My name is NABUKENYA with the news in details. The Ministry of Education and Sports is in plans of giving out licenses to teachers through the National Teachers Council. This was disclosed by the Commissioner for University Education and Training, Timothy Mukasa Sejuba, who represented the State Minister for Higher Education, Jesse Muyingo, at the Kappa Delta Pi Conference 2023 at Ndejje University. Let's have a look.
During the Kappa Delta Pi Conference at Ndejje University, the Acting Commissioner for University Education and Training said that the ministry is planning to license teachers through the National Teachers Council.
So that is why government came up with the National Teacher Policy, which has many issues in there, but one of the issues there is the National Teacher Council. So this will be the professional council for teachers. It's one which licenses them. If you are going to teach, you submit your papers to the National Teacher Council. The National Teacher Council looks through them, then it gives you you are registered. And after a period of time, you are licensed. But to continue being licensed, so the registration of course is once. But for licensing, the license will be maybe every possibly 5 years. You'll have to renew your license. And to renew your license, you must have certainly been teaching, but you should also have undergone what is called continuous professional development. Because as we know, things are changing all the time. So you can't be teaching the same way as you taught 5 years ago right now. We are now talking about highly technologized teaching. So if you continue teaching the same way, you'll find the learners far ahead of you and you won't be able to teach them. So that's what the Teacher Council will be doing, to be regulating, sanctioning where necessary, but also supporting continuous development of teachers. The National Teacher Bill is currently being prepared, and we are just waiting for clearance by the Office of the Attorney General and the relevant ministries of finance, and then it will be tabled before Parliament. So we hope other factors held constant, maybe within, because we have just had a financial year, so we hope by the end of this financial year, the National Teacher Council should be in place.
He added that the National Teachers Bill is currently being prepared and the ministry is waiting for clearance from the Attorney General and relevant ministers to be tabled in Parliament.
Where the problem comes from is as we would say in school, is a hard paper. It may not be very easy to pinpoint one problem. But of course, on the one hand, there's a feeling in government that charges contribute to learners dropping out. Even in places where we talk about universal primary, universal secondary, sometimes there are other, what we may call hidden charges, which somehow discourage learners and they drop out. But also the other part is about the atmosphere, the teaching and learning atmosphere. Because of lack of infrastructure, I'm sure all of us have seen pictures of children studying under trees. Maybe somebody may call that natural air conditioning, but you find P1 pupils sitting maybe in a room possibly smaller than this one. They're all sitting on the floor. Now, of course, when they're in P1, they're still eager to learn. Maybe P2, they're still eager to learn. Now, by the time they get to about P4, if the circumstances are still the same, definitely they won't find school anymore interesting and they will drop out.
The president of the Kappa Delta Pi, Mr. Samuel Busula, said that the mission of teachers should be helping children to become what they want to be.
Our mission should be to help children to be what they are intended to be. Our major aim should be for us to make sure that we know the way. Because if we don't know the way, we shall lead the kids to a big pit. How do we get to know the way?
A member of the Kappa Delta Pi and former lecturer Stephen Bajo says that the organization in Uganda has been facing challenges such as lack of funds, publicity, among others.
As a head teacher, then I went to Makerere and Ndejje University to teach. Now I realized that teachers, we don't have a professional society. We had Uganda Teacher Association, which now turned into, a trade union. UNATU. So this KDP is breaking a gap between Utah. We want now to work as an organization to mentor teachers professionally. We are not interested in money. Let a teacher teach. If he teaches effectively, that's our joy. But of course, he must be paid well.
The Kappa Delta Pi started in 1917 in the United States of America with an aim of monitoring teachers. In Africa, there are only two, one in Nigeria and the second in Uganda, which started in 2017. Davis Senchindu, live at 8.
The Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among, pushed all plenary sittings until further notice following the pending local council elections. This was done on Thursday during the last plenary sitting. Let's have more details.
Will be adjourned and dine to wait for the statement.
Speaker Anita Among adjourned parliament sittings to unknown date over the impasse of the local council elections. While presiding over the plenary sitting on Thursday, the speaker said that she is not going to continue on something that is an illegality. Government must advise the country on the way forward.
Honorable members, I am still giving you, because I am not going to continue on something that is an illegality. I will not do it. Honorable members, we are going to wait for a report from government. The government must advise this country on the way forward. I am still speaking. Now, if you're going to continue on procedure on what? We need a position of government, not to continue speculating. What will you tell your LOCs if you went to the village tomorrow?
The term of office of Local Council 1 and Local Council 2 chairpersons expired on the 10th of July 2023, and since then members of parliament have raised concerns, saying that the absence of local council leaders has caused crisis in the villages. Government extended the term of office of the local councils, but the speakers challenged government to present a statutory instrument for an extension to ensure it is lawful. Among says, as they wait for the statement from the government, the issue of local council elections is adjourned until the statement has been provided to Parliament.
Honorable members, as we wait for a statement from government, as we wait for the position of government, this house and this house will be adjourned and dine to wait for the statement.
The Speaker's decision to adjourn the House followed a statement by the Attorney General. Yunus Kadu, live at 8.
And follow her. Go.
On Thursday, 20th July 2023, Eunice Atuko swore in as the newly elected Member of Parliament for Oyam County North in the plenary sitting that was chaired by the Speaker of the Parliament of Uganda. She is to replace the late Charles Engola, who was shot dead by his bodyguard who was shot dead by his bodyguard in May this year. Let's have a look.
Eunice Otuko Apio was sworn in as the newly elected Member of Parliament for Oyam County North during a plenary sitting chaired by the Speaker Anita Among on Thursday afternoon.
God, that I will give faithful service to this Parliament and support and uphold the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda as by law established. So help me God.
Otuko, who ran on the opposition under Uganda People's Congress Party ticket, was declared the winner of the Oyam County North by-elections earlier this month. The Speaker welcomed Dr. Eunice Otuko to the 11th Parliament, saying it is a people-centered parliament which is united to serve the needs of the people. She went further and urged the newly elected Member of Parliament to abide by the Constitution of Uganda.
I want to welcome Dr. Eunice Apio. Welcome to Parliament of Uganda, and I sincerely want to congratulate you on behalf of the 11th Parliament. Congratulations, and welcome to 11th Parliament. The Parliament that you're joining is a people-centered Parliament, united in serving the needs of the people, and of course the aspirations of the common Ugandan. And I urge you to abide by the Constitution that you've sworn.
A total of 31,996 voters participated in the by-election out of the 90,733 registered voters from the 167 polling stations. Otuko secured 15,718 votes, defeating her competitors. Speaker Among presented Otuko with a copy of the Constitution and the Rules of Procedures of Parliament to assist her in carrying out her legislative duties. Yunus Kadu, live at 8.
And I sincerely want to congratulate you on behalf of the 11th Parliament.
In a press conference held by Honorable Semjunganda and other FDC MPs, they communicated that the elections that were supposed to be held today will not be held as was communicated before. This follows the unruly behavior from some members of the party yesterday. The new date is yet to be communicated. Let's have a look.
To an illegal exercise that is being announced by the Amuriat Nandara faction that FDC elections are beginning tomorrow. So this exercise is a ceremony like you've seen in all the other parties. They have attracted a lot of attack from everybody. So today I'll be very careful not to talk about UPC and DP. But the exercise mirrors what we have seen before. Almost every village has FDC. There are no documents, there are no supervisors. So in Kira there are no elections. There are no elections at all. But I have also listened to many other districts and they have the same. The Iganga, the Busoga FDC leadership are in Bugiri with Dr. Besje and the Honorable Wafurogut. They are also not in these elections. DC Chairman, Ambassador Waswabirigwa, who is supposed to be organizing a National Council's meeting next week, is held captive by Amuriat and some goons who are now manning the headquarters. He went there this morning to address a press conference. They stopped his vehicle from entering, and journalists, I think he went there as an old man to plead. Then they captured him. He's there, he can't get out.
Already we are going to organize, and at an appropriate time, I think we shall take over that office using appropriate and legal means. We can do all what they are doing to counter it, but we are not going to do it because we cannot push them to violence. We know what they are intending to push us to, but we shall organize, and therefore I'm joining all other colleagues who are saying we must wait and organize a proper organized elections.
Talk about a forum for democratic change, and you hear people say we are disgusted, we are disappointed with the two, then you know what we mean. And of course, this again falls in our proposal that we need to organize, we need to review before we can go for these elections.
Who is witnessing what is happening will not at any angle accept to keep quiet and listen to what is happening. I want to call upon Nanda Lamafabi, the SG, and the party president to calm down the situation, to listen to the voice of the people who are saying, all on with the election. And all of us are saying that.
The change which is not democratic. Therefore, I'm calling upon all FDC members, especially those ones in Rukunjiri, in my constituency, Rubabo. We shall not have a disorganized election, which is organized by people who want their own, who have their own agenda.
To do the things the way he's doing is an embarrassment to us who trusted him, but to the country and to the FDC fraternity. And therefore, we call upon the FDC leaders, those who believe in democracy, those who believe in fairness and the free exercise, to desist from this NRM-led exercise.
FDC chairpersons, supporters, asking for direction to take. And as leaders, we ought to speak to give direction to our people. Stay the election. Let the election alone until we finish the National Council.
There are no elections tomorrow, and we want to call upon all the FDC leaders, including newly trained supervisors, if they really care for this party, to abandon this exercise.
Uganda Premier League champions Viper SC has finally unveiled Brazilian tactician Leonardo Martinez as their new head coach. Let's have a look.
After the departing of coach Alex Isabelia from Kitende ground shortly after scooping Edu Macedonius, the team was looking forward to replace him with a new coach. Alex Isabelia resigned last week, citing interference and the lack of respect from the club's top brass. Viper Sports Club have appointed Brazilian native Leonardo Martinez Neiva, popularly known as Leo Nerom Alex Isabelia, who resigned. Neiva becomes the third Brazilian coach to arrive at St. Mary's Stadium, joining Beto Binci and Roberto Oliveira. The Gaffer is now new at East Africa, having won the Super Cup and the League Cup with Tanzania Young Africa in 2014-2015 season. Neiva has a rich vein of experience as a manager, having coached several clubs across the world. 45-year-old tactician started out at America Football Club in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil in 2007, before moving Stars for 2 years.
Okay guys, first of all, good morning for all. Habari sana. It's a big pleasure, to be here with you. And I follow this club, I follow Vipers SC since a long time ago, around 6 or 7 years, That's why I'm familiar about this club, about Africa. Also, I worked already in Africa 4 times. That's why I'm sure that maybe 2 days or 3 days later, I may feel like at home, for sure.
Neiva then returned to Brazil at Bonaciero RJ before turning to the youth side of Jodabon FC, a 20-year team. His first head coach role, then at 34, came at Rankin United between 2011 to 2012 in Myanmar National Athletic Francana the following year. The period 2016-2017 never worked again at Yadakabon and the now defunct Thai Hoda FC. In 2019, he made his back to Brazil at Club Atlético Itaperemim for just a season before heading to the St. Kitts and Nevis senior men's national soccer team. Never added to the Africa CV in 2021 when he coached in Sudan at Al Mekil, and this was his last team before joining Vipers.
Need to prepare the evaluation about the group of players, but about my style as a coach, I'm an aggressive coach, I like to play too much vertical game, offensive game. I don't like just block, And even against top clubs, example, if we are going to play against Al Ahly of Egypt, maybe Zamalek, maybe Mamelodi Sundowns, the top clubs in Africa, we cannot just defend ourselves. We need to try, you know, because you know football. If you just block yourself, you defend. They come, and that's why I'm an offensive coach.
Also, as a coach for the nation, his side topped Group F in the first round of CONCACAF qualifiers of the 2022 world favorite like Trinidad and Tobago. He will now be looking to only win the national championship with Vipers, but also take the team's league title. I am incredibly proud and excited to represent Vipers Soccer Club's interest. Never is quoted to have
aggressive coach. I mean aggressive coach. About my philosophy, you know, about my methodology, about the football, modern football, you know. Football today in the world is modern. We need to adapt ourselves about this football, you know. I like about the intensity, you know. I'm sure that maybe Vipers, I follow Vipers. Vipers is an amazing club. They play well, but we are going to increase this style. We are going to do a intensity team, you know, with ball.
Geoffrey Amanya, Raymond Kato, live at 8.
Thank you for watching. That has been Live at 8 with me, Grace NABUKENYA.